Welcome to Strong and Steady, where we talk about building strength, supporting your health, and choosing sustainable wellness for women in every season of life.
And I'm Brittany. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica. She's a mom of 4 littles with such a grounded, realistic approach to balance for low-tox living. She helps busy moms build healthy habits that actually work in real life without perfection or overwhelm.
And I'm Jessica, here with Brittany, a woman's health and fitness coach who specializes in elite aging. She helps women build strong bones and muscles so they can live their whole lives to the fullest with confidence, strength, and independence.
And together, we have over 2 decades specializing in the health and fitness industry. So whether you're in the thick of young motherhood
or focused on staying strong for the long run,
we are so glad you're here. Hey guys, I'm Brittany, and I'm here with my co-host, Jessica.
Hey!
So today we want to talk a little bit more about, I guess you could say, like living your whole life well. So many times, like we just see people, it's like you get married, you have babies, you work, you retire, and then you're just sitting on the sidelines. And then, well, technically you're just sitting in the doctor's office. And so
Yeah.
not very fun. So we just want to go over what it means to live your whole life well and what you can do about to live your whole life well, whether you are a young mom or even if you're a grandma or a great grandma and you're like, I really want to work on my health. I want to work on my mindset. So we're not just going to go over just little strategic things to do for your health, but it's all correlated to your mindset, to your spiritual, everything.
Yeah, I see like my grandpa, I really admire him. He, even to this day, will do his best to get down on the floor and play with the great grandkids. And I'm like, I want to be able to do that when I'm his age. Like, I think he's coming up on 90, I want to say.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he's still like he'll go up and down the stairs to the basement. He'll get down and play with the kids. And I just really admire that. And I'm like, I want to do that, but I also know that being able to do that when I'm 90 starts right now.
Yeah, and it takes intentionality too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at my grandma and I love my grandma. Like my grandma and I, we were best friends. And she was always taking us out places, but then as she got diagnosed with some autoimmune diseases and there were just so many things that happened and so now she literally just was like, the doctors would just kept putting her on medication and she just kept accepting it. She didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, grandma, I work at a gym. You should come do silver sneakers with me. And she was like, no, like just like that. No. And then I was like, well, would you like to have a vegetable or some protein that's not out of a
Mm-hmm.
box? No. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I love her to death. And it's like she's not 90.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's like 78 right now. And it's just so sad seeing that decline because she wasn't intentional. She wasn't proactive in her health. And then like your grandpa, I'm sure he has been moving and
Mm-hmm.
like keeps moving. And that's one of the keys is like you cannot stop moving.
Right. Yes. And I see, like you were talking about the medication, and I fully believe there is time and place for medication. But I've also learned with a lot of medications, they're more of a band aid. Like, here, let me fix the symptoms. They don't really get to the root of fixing the problems. And so that's something like we've been focusing on the past couple years is okay, let's work on the root cause of it and let's be feeding it and helping it and just making those steps forward that we need.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to, and we talked about this in the last episode, is that it doesn't have to be cutting cold turkey or
Mhm.
doing all the things all at one time. But it's really the key is balance. Like you think about how consistency is always going to be better than intensity.
Yes.
I mean, like I can say, hey, you need to work out, and I can take my grandma and go to a CrossFit class, but that's not going to be helpful for her. But what would be more helpful for her is consistently doing some sort of activity to help
Mhm.
get her moving. Um, so this is, I don't want to say this is off topic, but it's kind of a rabbit hole. Um, yay for squirrel brains, squirrel
Yep.
mom brains. But it's like we talk about health, and I know that this is actually an extreme when it comes, I like working in the health industry for over a decade. I have seen so many different things where people are like cutting cold turkey and then they
Hmm.
don't, and then they just can't follow through, or the complete opposite. And so one of my husband's roommates, first year of college, like, oh man, I heard all the
Oh,
stories back
college.
then. Oh Lord, have mercy, in a guy's dorm too.
Oh.
And so he, like, his college roommate, he was I guess he already had the freshman 15 within the first month, I guess you could say, which is
Ooh,
really sad.
yes.
And yeah. And Michael was like, "Well, hey, like you want to come work out with me?" And he goes, "No, I don't work out anymore because I used to do that all the time, but I made it a god. So
Mm.
I can't. And so I stopped it." But the fact is like he literally hasn't worked out. And my husband, I'm trying to think when that was his first year of college, probably like 10 years or so. And I know we're getting old, but
I'm even older.
right. and and so it's like even though, yeah, he made it like a god where it was putting precedence before God, he
Hmm.
still needs to exercise. He still needs to eat healthy. And the problem is
Hmm.
though, with that type of an all or nothing mindset, he is doing nothing now, and now he has so many health problems. He can't play with his kids. He's
Hmm.
not able to be the best husband because he hasn't taken care of his health. And yeah, it's wrong to do both of those where it's like too much,
Hmm.
where you're focusing too much on your health, but then it's also like not enough. Both of those are honestly they're sin, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like the Bible tells us don't put anything before God. Like, God is God, He is number one. Don't put anything in front of Him. But at the same time, He still calls us to take care of our bodies. Like, our bodies are a temple for Him. We do need to be taking those steps to be just keeping it healthy, keeping it active. That way we can continue doing the work He has for us here.
Yeah, yeah. And my parents, they're actually missionaries in Romania. And so we've gone on several trips to Romania,
Hmm.
working with the orphans, and when we would do that in the summer, like we would go to this camp, and I kid you not, it's like up and downhill at
Oh.
like all the time. You're literally just going up and down, up and down. And then these kids, they have so much energy, and you're like trying
Hmm.
to keep up with them. And it's taxing on your body. Like, y'all, I have been in, like I said, I've been in the fitness industry for over 10 years. I don't skip workouts. Even after my C-section, I still walked every day
Hmm.
because I needed to do something. That's probably my ADD and all that stuff too, but it helps. But so many people, they're like, "Hey, I really want to go to Romania with you."
Hmm.
But we had to turn them down because they physically could not do
Oh.
that. And it's the hardest thing because it's like God has called us to do these things and to be good stewards of our
Hmm.
body, and not because of like he's trying to like hit us with a rod of like you need to be a size 2. Like, no, he's
Right.
not saying that. But it's like he created us this way so we could help serve others. And you
Hmm.
can't serve others when you haven't taken care of yourself. You can't fill from an empty glass. And that's why for me it's so important to make sure that I'm exercising, to make sure that I'm eating healthy, because also like I cannot be the best mom when I have not prioritized my sleep, because then I'm cranky as all get out.
Yep.
No, no amount of ashwagandha can help my crankiness.
No.
Like that.
And no amount of caffeine and energy booster can help you having no sleep.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you think about like it's like with breastfeeding,
Oh.
if you're not eating, if you are not eating
Hmm.
nourishing foods, your milk supply is going to get depleted, and then your baby's not going to eat. And it's like it's that ripple effect. That's why it's so important. And then also like being a mom, or not obviously being a mom, but being a wife. Now, like my poor husband, he's already getting like the dregs after the baby, and I'm
Hmm.
like, it doesn't, like, you have to do this for you and for
Hmm.
your family.
Yeah, I remember too. So I had three under three, and so by all of them, by their first birthdays, we were making gender reveal announcements, and I was pregnant with my third, so still nursing our second, and I learned that your body prioritizes the youngest baby. So for I think it was like 2, 3 months, I was pregnant and breastfeeding. And so a lactation consultant explained it to me. She said, your nutrients are going to your baby that you are growing. What's next is it's going to the baby who's breastfeeding, and then you just get whatever's left over, which honestly, by that point, is not much. And honestly, at that time, I was not the best at, nourishing my body, but like hearing it that way, I needed, like, I was trying to start taking those steps because, yeah, I was tired. Like, there was a lot going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like, and people don't realize it's like it is so hard to be and do what you need to do when you're
Mm-hmm.
depleted. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
think everything you have to do takes about 80% of your battery. Well, just
Mm-hmm.
like think about a phone, it takes 80%. But when you're not sleeping, you're not nourishing your body, you're not exercising, you're not getting outside, getting the vitamin D, you're not doing these things to help your body, then you're operating at 20%.
Mm.
So you can't do everything that you need to do. And so also kind of along those lines is it's not just about the physical. Like we can focus on the physical all the time.
Right.
And for me, that's a lot easier because I'm like, yes, I can control it. I can do this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But our spiritual and our mental is just as important as our physical. In my program, Elite Aging, I actually have my friend, Miss Martha, she does this emotional decoding, is what it's called. And she can muscle test you for emotions that your body is holding on to. Because if you think about this, if you are holding on to certain things, emotions, or things happen to us. Like we have childhood
Right.
trauma. Like that's the
Oh,
big
yeah.
thing now. um, and and it's like we have all this trauma, and so let's say we all have a backpack. This is all our weight. But
Mm-hmm.
then someone says something to us, so it gets put in the backpack. And then our husband says something to us, but that gets put in the backpack. Certain things that happen to us. We get in a car accident, or someone gave us a snarky look at the store, like
Mm-hmm.
wherever, our bodies will hold on to it. And then it's making us like literally not be able to lose weight sometimes because your body is in that fight or flight mode, and that's too much cortisol. And so it's like your body, it's like Jessica was just saying, is it's like your body's first priority is to help that baby. But then it's like, then our body is our first priority is to actually survive, not lose weight, not look like a
Yep.
smoke show. And then, but also you think about it, like I know so many people that they look amazing. Like they're hot. Like they got the smoke show, they got the
Mm-hmm.
six pack, they got the six pack abs going on, but they're like the most miserable people ever. They are unhappy. It's never good enough. And that's why it's so important to focus on your mindset and your spiritual also.
Oh, yes. So I do a mom's Bible study at my church. And in the fall, we just went through Jeannie Allen's, the book, Get Out of Your Head. And it's all about taking your thoughts captives and how a lot of times, especially as women, our thoughts spiral. Let's be honest. Like,
Hmm.
there's times I'm like, my husband has not texted me in 8 hours. Like, oh my goodness, he hasn't even read the text. The crane fell and hit him. He's in the hospital. He's dead. Like he's in a coma. And then I'm like, well, if he was, someone would have called me by now. But like, how quickly our brains can spiral from 0 to 100. And so like that book was really talking about like, okay, my husband hasn't responded in 8 hours. Okay, stop. He's busy. He's on work calls. Like he just does not have the time. Nothing's bad. Like everything's fine. And just being able to like recognize when you're starting to spiral and cutting it off. And another thing it talked about with that is just like knowing the word of God, spending that time in the Bible and just really like taking it in. That way when our thoughts are creeping, in the ways they shouldn't, we can speak truth into our lives that way and like reset our minds and get it back on track.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I know so many times, like, I guess you could say that that can sound woo woo, of
Hmm.
like you got to meditate or you have to focus on your thoughts or anything like that, where you're working on your mindset.
Hmm.
And, but the thing is that God created that. It has been here since the beginning of time.
Hmm.
And, but then it's like the new age has taken it or tried to twist it to where it's like we are controlling that. But I mean, it literally says in the Bible to take your thoughts captive
Yes.
and make it obedient to Christ. And that includes all of your thoughts about yourself, about your
Hmm.
health. Is taking those captive. Like one thing, I was listening to Lisa Bevere. She's really, really good, and she was talking about the spiritual warfare and your health and how those are correlated. It's like, yes, there is the science behind like why do you not have GLP-1? And that's like basically the hormone that signals your body like, hey, I'm not hungry. um and so, but what she was saying is like, you have to ask yourself, why am I eating this way? Why am
Hmm.
I treating myself this way? Because so many times it's like we're eating things and and we're doing it to fill this void. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I used to be an
Hmm.
emotional eater.
Oh, yes.
Happy, sad, celebration,
Uh-huh.
long day
Bored.
at work, bored. Yeah, and it's like, why am I doing this? Is it because I'm trying to fill this void? Or is it because I don't like myself? Is it because someone said something? Like, we have to ask ourselves, and then from then we have to pray. Like,
Hmm.
I think Levi Lusko says it, it's like we work like it's all up to us, but we pray like it's all up to God. And
Yes.
when it comes to your health, you have to pray over your health and your family's health. Not just like, oh, dear Lord, please protect me from all these sicknesses. And then you're
Please let this
stuffing.
junk food I'm eating
I
turn
know.
into nutritioning carrots for my body.
I
Like, no.
know. Yeah, like God, I'm pretty sure God's just like, oh no. Like,
He's like, not again.
I know, right? He's like, I am a miracle worker,
Uh-huh.
but that's stupidity right there.
Yeah. You still have to take ownership.
Exactly, exactly. And one thing about this that I've seen with clients of mine is that, and for me myself too, is that let's say that you are overweight or you have been overweight and you lose all this weight. If you haven't changed your mindset, you're going to gain that weight back. Like
Hmm.
we see it with the Ozempic shots and all of these skinny shots. And they're like, hey, this is going to fix all my problems. I'm going to lose all this weight. But then you get off of the shot because you lost all your weight, but you haven't changed
Hmm.
like your mindset at all. I mean, I've seen so many clients that have gotten the surgery,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever it is, where they cut into your stomach. I can't think of it. Um, and gastric bypass. And then but they haven't changed the way that they've thought about food. They haven't changed the way they thought about themselves. And so then they gain even more weight back. That's why it's so important to, and I probably have said this 5 million times already on this episode, but it's so important. If you don't get anything, you have to get this, is that it's important to work not just on your physical, but on your mental and
Hmm.
your spiritual.
Yeah, it definitely, like you were saying, I've seen friends who do all this, but then don't change the habits. And that's something like we focus on a lot in our industry is just, it didn't take my body 3 nights to change, like to get this way. It took years and years and years. So my body is not going to be, in your eyes, fixed in 3 nights, in 3 weeks. Honestly, like it's going to take time. It takes, we like to compare it to an onion. Like as you start to heal your body at the root, it's layers of onions peeling back. So, oh, okay, this is now working better. Like, okay, maybe 6 months later, you're starting to peel another one back. And it's different, just different layers of it as you continue to work. And so, like we were saying last episode, it's step by step. You take one step and you build up upon it. That way, you continue to pull the layers off.
Yeah, yeah. And we have to see our health is is more like a marathon. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
sprint. And when we constantly think sprint, 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 that gets us into this yo-yo diet where we're going to
Mm-hmm.
keto, then we're going to all sorts of other diets and like what is it? Like vegetarian, vegan, whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, just to get that quick fix. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not lasting, and we have to change that mindset into I am doing this to nourish my body, to have lasting health.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think of so many people that they're like, I've got to get down to this weight. And
Mm-hmm.
then they get down to that weight and then it's not fulfilling. They're like, oh, I could have done even more.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, and then they just jump back up and they're like, oh, got to try a new diet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not sustainable. That's not, it's not okay on your body either. Like we see so many
Yeah.
repercussions of doing that for years with autoimmune diseases, with gut health
Mm-hmm.
issues, with leaky gut, with so many different things.
Well, I've seen too. Like I'm thinking of this one picture. I forget her name, but it was a before and after picture. And looking at the pictures, you would swear she was 10, 15, maybe even 20 pounds difference between the pictures. But she was the same weight in both pictures. The difference was she was working on the root cause. For her, it was her gut and reducing the inflammation. She was building muscle because muscle does weigh more than fat, but so same before and after, same weight, but just looked so much more healthier, looked happier as well because she was feeling good. She was feeding her body what it was craving and what it was needing.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a similar story where it was like I was working out 6 days a week doing CrossFit and then I was eating extremely strict paleo, counting macros, all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
But my face was like I had like cystic acne. It was
Mm-hmm.
horrible. And then I was living off of like Bang energy drinks. I would have
Yeah.
a Celsius coffee, everything. And then it's like I felt horrible, even though I was doing all of these things. And that's why, like, I am a huge advocate for gut health because if
Mm-hmm.
you do not fix your gut health, you're not going to fix anything else life like long term. And I mean, kind of on the spiritual aspect, if you don't fix your spiritual, I guess, like your spirituality with Jesus, the one and the only way, the truth and everything,
Yeah.
then nothing else is going to work. Everything else in life is just meaningless, to be honest.
Yeah, we were talking about that again in our mom's Bible study. Right now, we're going through Gospel Mom by Emily Jensen and Laura Wiffler. And the first couple, like the beginning of their book and their podcast as well, they talk about creation. And so we really like dove into God's design. And God's design is for us to be with Him. But also, what we noticed, and slightly off topic, but not really, is his design is also for him to be with us. Like we think a lot of
Mhm.
time it's me going to God, but God meets us where we're at. And just remembering that, like I hear a lot, one story I always go back to is like, oh, I'm going to sit down, have my quiet time with God. And, you know, it's like a picture of you sitting like in the fireplace, God's in the chair across from you, you're having that time. And then one day it's like, oh, I forgot, like, I'm running late, I got to get to work. So you skip it. Next day it's like, oh, this came up. And, you know, snowball, weeks, months go by, you've barely done it. And one day you're walking past the door and you see God still sitting there. And you pop in and you go, have you been here the whole time? He said, yeah, I'm waiting for you. Like, I want to be with you. And so, like, just being reminded that, like, our design is to be with God and for Him to be with us. And just, again, like, we need to be healthy to be there with Him and to share Him with others.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. And you think about it, it's not just, oh, hey, I'm 50 pounds overweight. But what that 50 pounds is doing to your body, you think
Mm-hmm.
about like the brain fog that you have, the joint pain that you have, that you can't get on the floor with your grandkids or your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I was pregnant, I was like, good Lord, this is hard. It's hard being overweight. I don't like this. I can't tie my shoe. What is wrong with me?
Or if I do tie my shoe, then I need to sit down and breathe.
I know exactly. Or like walking up the stairs, like At my gym, we always walked up the stairs to go to the
Mm-hmm.
other fitness area. And I'm pregnant and I'm like, 9 months pregnant and I'm walking up with these people having a conversation with them and I'm like, just give me 1 minute. And I'm like,
Let me breathe before I
let me breathe.
respond.
And they thank the Lord I was pregnant because they're like, oh yeah, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
But
But I
yeah,
mean, I can't even imagine that like being my daily. Like when I'm not
right.
pregnant, just that being the daily because I'm not taking care of myself.
Yeah, yeah. And it's miserable. And the thing is that God doesn't want you for that. Like Jessica was saying
Mhm.
about God's design, is like God designed our bodies in this amazing way to function the way that it should. And yeah, medication, sometimes those are necessary to help get it back, kind of like get you into control of it. And
Mhm.
then we can start saying, okay, we need to change this with your diet or
Mhm.
exercise or anything like that. But it's like we have to take ownership of that and
Mhm.
be good stewards of God, of what God has given us.
Yeah.
And I mean, you think about like the church, like if you go into church, you're not gonna throw a big red on the floor. You're not gonna just trash it, vandalize it,
Mhm.
because that's the church. And you're like, no, we have been taught to take care of it. You're gonna clean up after yourself. You're not gonna run in church, or you're not gonna do like I think of all those things that my parents were like, don't you dare do that in church.
Uh-huh.
And and so it's like it's so important for us to do that same because God resides in us. He is literally
Mhm.
inside of us. And why are we going to trash our body that way?
Mhm. Yeah, the Holy Spirit, He has sent us the Holy Spirit for those of us who believe in Him, to live within us and to guide us through our days. Um, and yeah, I mean, for me, I've had the Holy Spirit for most of my life. I was like 3 or 4, and honestly, like, obviously it's grown over the years, but to just be living with Him and having that reminder that He is in me and I need to take care of what He has given me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now, one thing that has been very helpful for me as far as I guess you could say like becoming into that person that God has called me to be. And thinking about those certain words. This is something that one of my coaches has gone through with me actually a few times. And this is one thing that you can definitely do. And we'll actually like show y'all how to do this. But you think like we have to think differently. Like I said, we have to take our thoughts captive and make it obedient to Christ. But then it's also becoming that person who God has created us to be. And so, this one exercise, you're going to take words like, and you want to kind of sit and think about this. You don't want to rush this exercise. But the first word that defines the best of who I am and guides my thoughts and actions. So you're thinking about yourself. Like,
Hmm.
what would be that one word that would guide, define your thoughts and your actions and who you are? Like, who are you at the core? Like
Hmm.
for me, that one was joyful. Like I want to be joyful because no matter the circumstances, like nobody can steal your joy. Like the joy of the Lord is our strength. And yeah, it's not happiness like, oh yay, I'm happy. I I got this or got to go outside, whatever. But joyfulness is being able to have it's I don't know, it's just it's so hard to explain joy, but
Yeah.
you just feel good and you feel at peace
Hmm.
when everything is going crazy or when everything is going just right. So
Hmm.
that would be the first word. The second one is interaction. So the word that guides how I treat and engage with others. So loved ones, strangers, what would that word be for you for interactions and stuff? So, and so like for me, mine was intentionality. At first I had, what was it? I had written down like reliable and everything, and I totally want to be a very reliable person.
Yeah.
But then that also can give you the connotation of like, everybody can count on you, and then you're burnt out. And so instead of like everybody relying on me, I want to be intentional with my
Mhm.
time, with my people, and let them know like, hey, you are seen, you are heard. So that would be the second word is interactions. And then the last one is success. So the word that reminds me of what actually makes me successful and will make me even more successful. So if you had a word of like, this is why I am successful, this is
Mhm.
why I have made it to the top of my company, this is why I'm a successful mom, that I'm present. And so that could be like that you were present, that's why you're successful. Or for me, it was resilient because that word holds me to the fire because I'm like, even though that life has knocked me down or I've had some setbacks, I want to be resilient and get back up and to keep on doing what God has called me to do.
Mhm. Yeah, I think all of that is so great and definitely something like for us to take and think about throughout this week. If you need to, you can write it down if you want. You can even send us like your 3 words on Instagram if you just like I know for me a lot of times accountability, just being able to send it to someone just helps so much. But yeah, so if you need to send it to someone, we're on Instagram. Come find us, send it there. We will help encourage you along the way. And so I think that's about it for this week. So
Yep.
thank you all so much for listening. We hope that you were able to just gain something from it. And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
Yep. Yep. It's going to be good. So we'll see you then.
We want to leave you with one last thought, and this comes from Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to come hang out with us over on Instagram. You can find us at The Strong and Steady. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time on Strong and Steady.